Installing mental model for Rust. Rust is in your Linux kernel. AWS Firecracker, the thing your Lambda runs on, has been written in Rust since 2017. Cloudflare's Edge proxy, Pingora, handles 1 trillion requests a day in Rust. Discord rewrote their hottest path in it. The new Python tooling, UV and Rough from Astral, is Rust all the way down. You probably haven't picked it up yet, but it is already running underneath your stack. So what is its deal? Why are 5 very serious infrastructure teams reaching for the same language at the same time? It is not a meme. There is a specific class of bug Rust eliminates without paying a runtime cost. That is what we are answering. When people say Rust is safe, they don't mean all bugs. They mean memory bugs. Mostly these 5. Use after free. You return a pointer to memory that already got freed. The next caller reads garbage. Sometimes it's exploitable. Double free. You release the same allocation twice. The heap allocator's bookkeeping corrupts, and now you have a bug that only shows up under load. Data races. 2 threads touch the same memory without coordinating. You get values that nobody wrote. Null to reference. Rust simply doesn't have null. Optional values come wrapped in option, and you have to unwrap them explicitly. Buffer overflow. The thing that owned the entire security industry from the 90s to roughly now. Microsoft's Security Response Center published a number a few years back. Around 70% of the security vulnerabilities they fix and assign a CVE to are memory safety bugs. Chromium ran the same analysis on a completely different codebase. Same number, around 70%. 2 of the largest C and C++ codebases on Earth, 2 independent counts, 1 answer. Safe Rust eliminates that whole class by construction. No tooling, no fuzzer, no linter, just the compiler. Which raises the obvious question: how does a language do that without a garbage collector? The thing everyone calls strict is actually 3 rules. They are not arbitrary, they are exactly what the compiler is checking. Rule 1. Every value has exactly 1 owner. When that owner goes out of scope, the value is dropped. The compiler decides where the drop call goes at build time. There is no runtime to figure it out. Rule 2. You can have many readers or 1 writer. Never both. Nico Matsakis, who literally designed the borrow checker, calls this mutation XOR sharing. 3 words. The entire model. Rule 3. A reference cannot outlive what it points at. The compiler tracks lifetimes and refuses to compile a reference that would survive its target. That is the whole borrow checker. 3 rules. So what do they catch? Here is C code that frees a pointer and then reads it. Use after free classic. Same shape in Rust, the rules reject it. Sometimes rule 1, because the value got moved and the old binding is no longer valid. Sometimes rule 3, because the reference would outlive the value it points at. Either way, compile error. The bug never reaches runtime. I'll be honest, I find this counterintuitive even now. Most languages let ownership stay implicit. Rust forces you to encode it in the type system. The first month feels like fighting the compiler. The 3rd month, you notice the borrow checker is catching real bugs you would have shipped. There is an opt-out. You can write unsafe to do things the compiler cannot verify. Raw pointers, calls into C, that kind of thing. The borrow checker still runs, but inside that block, you take responsibility for the safety contract. Most explainers tell you Rust is fast and safe, like those are 2 separate features the language happened to ship together. Wrong frame. Walk the chain. The compiler knows who owns every value, because rule 1 says exactly 1 owner. So the compiler also knows when each value dies. So the compiler can place the drop call in the binary itself, like a destructor. No traced collector, no pause the world step, no runtime decision. What a Rust binary does at runtime ends up structurally similar to what a C binary does. Values on the stack. Owned data on the heap freed at scope exit. Same performance class. The work a garbage collector would do at runtime is done by the compiler at build time. Speed is not a parallel feature. Speed is a side effect of safety. Receipts. Discord 2019. They had a service called Read States, tracks which messages you have seen. Written in Go. Their post on it is unusually candid. Go's garbage collector was forcing a collection cycle every 2 minutes, even when there was nothing to collect, even after they tweaked it. The result was latency spikes on a clean rhythm on every replica. They rewrote it in Rust. The 2-minute spikes disappeared. Average response time dropped to microseconds. They didn't pick Rust because it was cool. They picked it because the GC tax was a structural cost they could not optimize away and go. And Rust's compile time enforcement is what removes the GC entirely. That is the actual answer. The borrow checker is the price of admission. The GC tax disappearing is the biggest piece of what people call Rust's speed. There are other pieces too. Zero-cost abstractions, no language runtime, but the GC piece is the one that maps directly onto the safety story. Now that we know how it works, where does it actually matter? Real. Anywhere a memory bug is a security incident, not just a crash. Kernels, browsers, embedded firmware, edge proxies, hypervisors that run other people's code. Anywhere a 2-millisecond pause shows up on someone's dashboard. The bug class Rust kills is exactly the kind of bug that takes those systems down. Overblown. Most web app backends. If your bottleneck is the database, the borrow checker tax does not pay you back in latency. Go and Java and TypeScript will keep working fine for that shape of work. Discord rewrote one hot path microservice, not their entire web app. The post got read as rewrite everything in Rust. That is not what they did. Rust isn't perfect. Async. Rust still has rough edges, the GUI story is not settled, and learning the borrow checker takes weeks. How long Rust stays in this position is a real question. So, the whole video in one paragraph. Adoption is real, you can name 5 places. The bug class it kills is the 70% class. The mechanism is 3 rules. 1 owner, mutation, XOR sharing. References can't outlive reference. Speed is a side effect of safety, not a parallel feature. Here's what to do with that. Next time someone on your team says, should we rewrite this in Rust? Ask one question. Is this a blast radius critical hot path? Then yes, the math probably checks out. Is this a CRUD endpoint where the latency budget is 200 milliseconds? Then almost certainly not. Now you can answer the question. Cognitive architecture, updated.